Hi, and welcome to my series of videos on learning Lightroom. Now in this video I want to take a look at my method of exporting specifically for web or for print. It's a question that comes up a lot in my classes. So let's get stuck in. First we'll find some photos that we want to work with. Well, here on the desktop I've got a folder and it's got some images in that I took at the zoo in Barcelona. Now if I just minimize Lightroom, you'll see that I've got a folder here with those images in and it's on the desktop. Now let's just select one to start with. And what I'll do, I'm going to export this first for web, for some kind of web application, let's say my blog. So I'm going to go up to File, down to Export, and I'm going to get the export dialog come up. Now we'll go through this one at a time. I'll just close everything up to make it easier to see. So first thing is export to. Well, I'm going to export to the hard drive. You've got some other options in there, but we'll just leave it to the hard drive because that's where I want it to go. First we'll start with export location. Where do I want to put it? Well, what I'm going to do is put it back in the same folder. So I'm going to end up with an export folder in the original folder so it keeps everything together. So I'm going to select same folder as original photo. I'm going to put a tick in put into subfolder, and then I'm going to call this web. So it's going to create a folder now called web inside my main folder. Okay, file renaming, well you could do, but I'm happy to leave in this occasion anyway the file naming as it is. Video, it's not a video so I'm not going to open that. File settings. Okay, this is a web application, so I'm going to leave the image format to JPEG, leave the image quality set up at 100, and I'll leave the colour space set to sRGB, so nothing much to do in there really. Next one we'll look at is image sizing. Now in this one I do want to resize it to fit, and I shall resize it to say on the long edge. So for this particular application, it's say for my blog, I want something like, let's say 600 pixels along the longest edge, and then I'll set the resolution for 72. Output sharpening, well, do I want to sharpen? Well, I'll sharpen for the screen, and you've got some other options for print, but in this occasion it's going to go on a screen, and I'll leave the amount set to standard. Metadata, what metadata do you want including? Well, I'll just leave it set to all metadata, and you can remove your personal info and your location info if that's what you want to do. Watermarking, what do I want to do? Well, if you've got a watermark set up, you can select it from this drop down. I'll leave that set, and we'll just leave it set for a simple copyright. And then post-processing, I don't want to do anything, so I'm just going to leave that to 1 as well. Right, so now I've done all that hard work, I've done a lot of work in there. What I'm going to do is save that out as a preset. So I'm going to go to the add, and then I'm just going to call this, let's say, web export, and I'll click create. And now you can see this has appeared as web export in the preset panel. Okay, next, let's imagine we're going to send this for print. So I'm going to go export location, I'm going to leave the same, but this time I'm just going to create another folder called print in the same folder. So now in my folder I'm going to have a folder called web and a folder called print. File naming the same, video the same, file settings I will leave the same, dependent on your lab, but generally speaking I would leave that set to sRGB if you're printing to a colour lab. If you're printing at home, then I would have a look at your manual and see what colour space that you want to be printed to. Limit file size, no, I don't want that, and 100% quality. Image resizing, this time I want the full resolution image. So I'm going to untick resize to fit, and I'm going to put this up to about 300. Again, consult your lab. It depends whether you go, it normally goes between about 240 and 300 depending on your lab. I always send it at 300 and I've never had a problem. Sharpen, You could probably do a couple of test prints yourself if you wanted, but really just you've got two options here. Is it going to be glossy paper or is it going to be matte paper? I'll say let's do one for glossy paper, and we'll leave the amount at standard again. Again, metadata, how much, I'll just leave that exactly the same. I don't want a watermark on this, and I don't want any post-processing. So again, I'm going to go to add, but this time I'm going to call it print, and then I'm going to click create, and then I can close down this dialog box because now I've got those two all set up. So let's say I want to do, let's say these 4, and I want to put them on my blog. So I want them resizing and exporting for the web. So now I'm going to go up to the file menu, down to export, but this time I'm not going to select export. I'm going to select export with preset. And now down at the bottom here you can see I've got a preset for web export. So I'm going to click on that, and off it goes, and that's it done. So now I'll just minimize Lightroom. We'll go into Barcelona folder, and here you can see now, as well as my original images, I've now got a folder called web, and it's got those images in, all exported to the right size for me. Okay, let's go back to Lightroom. But this time, let's say these 4, so I'll select another 4, let's say these, I want to send off to a printer. So now I'm going to go up to File, I'm going to go down to Export with Preset, but I'm going to go down to Print. And there it is, that's it done. So we'll just go back onto the desktop and have a look in the Barcelona folder. Here now I've got a folder for the web, which has got my web exports in, and I've got a folder for my prints that's got all the prints that are all ready to send off for my printer. So that's it, how I export from Lightroom for web or for print. Thank you so much for watching. Please visit my website for more free training on Photoshop and Lightroom. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.